It's now the battle of the billionaires. Governor Rauner just wrapped up his victory speech here at his headquarters in Chicago. The room is now clearing out, but he gave an impassioned speech to his supporters. Obviously, President Trump just a few days ago announced a $12 billion bailout plan, but farmers aren't happy with it. They say it doesn't address the deeper-rooted issue. So it'll be interesting to see if President Trump touches on that subject. Almost all of those 7 priests identified in this report had at one point in their career worked in the Chicago area. And the report also reveals that one of the victims was also from Illinois. First budget meeting wrapped up about an hour ago, and now lawmakers, after a brief caucus, are trickling back inside of the chamber where we're expected to see them vote on this budget. Yeah, and you haven't lost any energy. You've been busting out some dance moves out here. You want to show the people how you're getting these donations? Awesome. He's been breaking out the dance moves all day long, and it's been working. What's also clear, though, is that she is definitely Governor Rauner's favorite candidate out of everyone here running for state office. It's hard to ignore that this is an election year, so this is a special time for them to come out here, shake hands with voters face to face. You can see people can literally walk right off the streets and head straight into the front doors without any sort of security checks. I talked to an attorney this afternoon about this report. She says it comes down to one question. Did J.B. Pritzker intentionally lie to the county? Now, there's 2 questions to try to get to the bottom of that. Illinois is one of several states implementing this new law today, but there is some pushback on Capitol Hill. She definitely didn't have that tone when she first hopped into this race in the primaries. In her advertisement, she was the anti-Trump candidate, and now it seems like she's trying to take a different tone. To definitely open up the floodgates for people able to access marijuana here in the state of Illinois, so it's going to do a lot for the industry. Looking at the numbers, you know, he had how many opponents? He still had 575,000 votes. Rauner had one other person he was running it, and he only had 360,000. I think that just speaks volumes as to how much ground he's going to have to make up. Just to put that in perspective, for a family of 2, you now need to make $30,000 or less to be eligible for child care assistance. For a family of 3, that's $37,000, and the threshold for a family of 4 is $45,000. What people may not realize is this is the only designated area you can cross a railroad track. Take one step over and you're trespassing. Judging by some of the response they're getting at both their rallies, they're definitely energizing their base. Now the 2 are still sorting out debates. We didn't learn much new concrete information. And with limited evidence, Congress members were forced to take much of today's testimony at face value. People around here tell me they started coming to the library not just for the obvious shelter that it provides, but to feel safe. Unlike most buildings downtown, the library has 24-hour surveillance on every corner of the building. For whatever reason, this feature is working for me, probably because I'm from California, so I'll simply just take a selfie and check out my match.
The youngest, most effective lobbyist in Illinois history.
Wow. It's not every day a 10-year-old changes the law, but Wednesday, Hunter Martin proved he's not your average 5th grader.
I just thought he was signing like legal forms. And right after he signed it, shook my hand and all that, my mom's like, you know, he just signed the bill. I'm like, what? I'm like, oh my, thank you.
In a private ceremony Wednesday, Governor Rauner signed Hunter's bill. Now all insurance companies in Illinois must cover hearing aids for kids.
They're gonna like have the chance to have hearing aids and like be able to hear like a normal kid.
How does that make you feel?
Awesome.
For the past 3 years, Hunter and his family have advocated for the change because Hunter and his younger brother have a hearing loss birth defect.
It's like having cotton balls in your ears and everybody's just talking to you quieter. You can't hear like whispering or birds chirping or water dripping.
Luckily, he's had his hearing aids, but he says the most difficult 2 weeks of his life were when he lost them.
When I got home, I was very tired because I had to strain to listen. It gave me a headache, and I just like, come on, why can't I just be able to hear better?
That experience, plus the cost of a replacement, gave his family a reason to take action.
For the insurance companies not to cover it, we couldn't imagine, especially with all the other medication and surgeries and procedures which they cover, and for them to say that this was cosmetic and not needed, it blew our minds.
They met with lawmakers and health professionals to share Hunter's story. His dad says he couldn't be more proud.
I don't know how many 10-year-olds, myself included, could do all the things he's done.
For Hunter, it's all in a day's work. This is just the beginning.
I want to be president. I want to be in the FBI, I want to be SWAT, and I want to be in the Army, in the Secret Service.
Okay, that's a long list.
It'll get done.
In the wake of a mass shooting at a high school in Parkland, Florida, hundreds poured out, many victims themselves sharing their pain in hopes of sparking change.
I couldn't stop the tears from coming.
For Mary Kay Mays, the shooting at Parkland hit home especially hard. That same day, 10 years ago, her daughter was killed in a mass shooting at Northern Illinois University.
When I heard that another 17 people were dead and 14 of them were kids, I just, I lost it. I broke down and cried and got sick and everything, I mean, it just all comes back to you, and it's like a punch to the solar plexus.
She calls these actions preventable, and if lawmakers don't take charge, they plan to November at the ballot box. The room is buzzing with excitement. These tiny physicians in training are learning the ropes. After a brief lesson, it's time to get dressed and start saving lives. They're checking heartbeats, giving shots, and bandaging those scrapes. The 5-year-old Dr. Araya has the perfect remedy for her patient's leg.
You just have to hit on his leg and make it feel better and put some ointment on it.
She's one of 40 campers here for health. They're going room to room to learn from the experts. So far, she says she's having a blast.
I thought it was going to be cool, and it is.
That was the game plan for staff at St. John's Hospital.
The hospital is really overwhelming. It's really big. There's a lot of adults running around, and usually when kids come to the hospital, it's not because they want to. There's usually some type of injury or sickness, so it can make the whole process really intimidating.
They hope this interactive experience will help kids feel more comfortable during their visits. And if they inspire some future physicians, that's great too.
It's just a lot of fun for everyone involved.
Araya says she's looking forward to her next checkup. And she has a message for anyone still scared to go to the doctor.
You have to go to the doctor, and you can help your body in need, and it could be fixed.
We're here today to celebrate a great victory.
For the first time since taking office, President Trump touched down in the land of Lincoln to talk trade policy and jobs.
In the midst of this great economic revival, now is the time to finally fix the terrible, one-sided, unfair trade deals and practices that have cost our nation trillions of dollars and millions of jobs.
He received a warm welcome from workers at Granite City's U.S. Steel factory. Thanks to the president's tariffs on steel and aluminum imports, they're hiring roughly 800 people after years of layoffs.
The support of the president has been just amazing.
Business is coming back up that went down when we got laid off.
The president blames bad trade policy with China and U.S. allies for America's shrinking manufacturing market.
For decades, the United States was the piggy bank that everybody was robbing. We were the big, dumb piggy bank.
His visit to the plant was a sweet spot during his Midwest tour, but lying in the backdrop, the fate of farmers. Thousands of soybean and pork farmers are seeing their prices plummet as the trade war with China intensifies. Trump told the crowd Thursday he just struck a deal with the EU to bring them relief.
We will not let anybody bully our wonderful American farmers. We are going to stick together and win for our farmers.
Though Governor Rauner was a no-show, Congressman Ronnie Davis was one of 3 D.C. Republicans to attend the event. He says Trump's words make him optimistic.
I think a lot of our farmers that I represent that actually have a lot invested in the Trump administration because they voted for him, they want to see more EU results. And I think they're going to see that after listening to the president's speech.
Reporting in Granite City, Raquel Martin, back to you.